Hey everybody, this is Bob Bulk here. I'm getting ready to make some beef stew. First of all, happy Memorial Day to everybody, 2018. If you happen to know a veteran or a family with a deceased veteran, please show them your love and your respect. Soldiers go out of country and they die for us, and they deserve every bit of recognition that we can give them. So what I've done here is I have a block here that I'm going to cut on a cutting board. A really good idea that you might want to do is get yourself a rag, some sort of a towel or something, wet it, lay it on the counter, take your cutting board, set it right up here on top of it. What that does is it keeps the board from sliding back and forth so you don't end up cutting your finger. We don't want to do that. Also, before you start cutting, make sure your knife has a good edge on it. If you have a steel in your block, you want to go ahead and run it across the steel about 6 or 7 times. This will help to keep the edge in good shape so the knife doesn't slip on you while you're cutting. What I have here is I have some baby red tomatoes, or baby red potatoes. I have a Vidalia onion. I have some organic carrots. You can get whatever kind you want, but you know, I happen to like these. I'm only going to use 4 of these for this recipe. I have some Italian parsley. This is the best parsley, in my opinion. I use it in my meatballs and a lot of my other dishes. It has a lot of good flavor. But don't use the curly parsley. That stuff is terrible. I hate it. It just doesn't have a good taste to it. I also have, I've got 2 pounds of stew meat. You can go to your butcher and have them cut it up for you if you don't feel like messing with it, but you need to have it in like 1-inch cubes is what you want to use. So, also got some Swanson beef broth. Some people like to use a different type, but that's what I use. Mediterranean sea salt. For this recipe, I'll also be using paprika, bay leaves. Also, caraway has got a real good flavoring. Not everybody likes this. You could try it. I'll use a little bit of this because I enjoy the flavoring. And we use a little bit of tomato paste. You want to have a little bit of olive oil to saute lightly your meat in the skillet before putting it in the pot. And I've got some black ground pepper. Now, garlic, some people, they like to use fresh clove garlic. Myself, I'd rather have the minced garlic in the jar. This one happens to have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in it, which is fine. But it's just as fresh. I just don't have to screw around with cutting up the garlic. It's just kind of like a time waster for me. Also, we're going to be using rosemary and thyme. So those are my ingredients. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up these vegetables. You want to quarter these red potatoes. They're small, but you just quarter them up. That way they cook, you know, easily when you start the crock pot. You don't have to wait for hours for this stuff to finish. Anyhow, and carrots, you dice up the carrots in like 1/4-inch slices or no more than 1/4 inch. And you're going to use 4 of those for this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this stuff up, and I'll be right back.